This. Let me move this so it looks like I'm looking at people. Take this stinking hat off. All right. We got 13 people in here. That's good. Still working with this new program I got. It's new to me, so bear with me. I thought I've been trying to upload a video on Sunday afternoons, and I might get one out tomorrow, Monday, but things have just got in the way. What I really wanted to do is I wanted to take off and ride that Butterfield Trail. And I had I was getting everything ready and was just about to pick a day when I was going to leave. Got a phone call one morning. My dad was sick. My dad's 89 years old, and went over there. We had to call the ambulance and everything, and so got him to the doctor, got him fixed up. Now he has to have an operation. Typical of us old men, he's got, his prostate's messing up on him. He's 89 years old, toughest guy I've ever been around. And let me get this thing out of my face. And so tomorrow I have to take him to his pre-op. So I'm kind of his taxi. I drive him around, take care of him. So that's kind of the excuse I have about the Butterfield. I kind of felt bad because I had everything set up, and I'd even made another video. I haven't published it yet, where I went and explored some more of that area, and just haven't been able to do that. Then I've been out a couple other times, and I thought, well, I got this new program here, and I've been messing with it all day, trying to set it up where it works good, and thought, well, I didn't advertise it or anything. Just go live and see what happens. See if I get many people in here. So, we got 16 people. And I thought, well, if you guys have any questions, post them in the comment, write a comment and ask me a question. And I thought I'd go through some of these YouTube questions that I got. I answer most all the comments I get on my YouTube channel. I think that's, a guy takes the time to watch the video and still comment on it. I think it's the least I can do is try to get. Now I'm getting a lot more comments than I used to, so it's getting harder and harder to get to them all. But I take time. Usually it's early in the morning when I first get up, drink my coffee and go through the comments and answer them. But see, on this, and this is something I just learned. I didn't know you could do that, but I can filter these comments for questions asked. So I thought I'd go through this and just kind of peel through them and answer some of these questions out loud. I've answered most of them typewritten, but I'll go through most of them. So the last question I had was from Papa Jeff. And this is in relation to a little short I made where I camped. What I'd done is I'd rode up into the Black Range, and it was during the summer. I didn't take a pack animal, but I took I took everything on my mule. I took a lightweight sleeping bag and a tarp and everything. Robert B, awesome channel. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate it. And when I got up there, I was trying to get up to the top, to the Divide Trail, and the trail was gone. There was just nothing left of it, and I couldn't get up through there. And I came back, and there was some 16, I think there were 16 or 14-foot Powder River panels up there. And they were just set up there. There's no way they could haul those things up into that country. So I talked to a guy later, they'd flew them in with a helicopter when the fires had come. I think they were trying to gather some cattle out of there. I'm not real sure. But anyway, I built a little tarp shelter, and then I made a video of it, but then I made a little short video, what they call a short, and I shared it. And this guy, Papa Jeff, said, some folks have a lot of money. Helicopter help ain't cheap. What's he doing out there? And so I answered, I said, I bet it was the Forest Service. Not sure, but I know that was the only way they could get those in there. And it was a cattle lease, so there was cattle up there. So I'm sure that had something to do with it. All right. Got another one. Now, this last one I made with a little short video I made with I went down and I bought me a Henry 410. And When I was a kid, I had a breakover 410. I hunted everything in the world with it, from quail and dove to rabbits, and it was just a little breakover 410 my dad gave me. And I seen that Henry came out with these 410s, and I just had to have one. It was kind of expensive, but I snuck out and I bought it. Super snake killer. And I think it'd make a super gun to carry with you in the summertime, shotgun, and it's a lever action, so it kind of fits my style a little bit. Anyway, so New Mexico elk hunter, he comments a lot. He said, very neat. How am I going to slip one of those by my wife? Any tips? I just said, yeah, you got to be sneaky. And then Danny Nichols, do you ever come across any border jumpers out there? I haven't in a long time. I'm sure they're out there. I remember years ago when I was running my greyhounds on coyotes, I came across, I was on a ranch quite a ways south and west of here. And I was on, back then I didn't ride my mules. I was riding a horse, a young horse I was training. And I remember riding over a hill, and there must have been 15 of them carrying gallon jugs of water and little blankets strapped to their back. And they were nice. I just waved at them and said, Buenos dias, muchachos. No problems. Okay, Mark Luke. I like that hat band. What size it? I'm not sure what size it is. I wear a 7 1/4 hat. There's a man that had asked me to get a snake skin for him. And so I of course, I killed a lot of rattlesnakes. I killed one, and me and my grandson skinned it, and then I cured it. And I cured it in antifreeze. You coil them up and put them in a jar of antifreeze, and I left it in there for a long time. And I gave him the snake skin, and he gave me a little leather hat band. Anyway, okay. How many people we got in here now? 14. I lost a couple. Okay, Robert Noor. I don't know how do many of you guys on my videos, do you go through and look at the other comments that other people make, or do you just watch the video and go on about your business? I don't know how that works. Let's see. Robert North. Watching your videos turned me on to Dave Stammy, one of my favorite. His songs have a similar effect as your videos. They take me somewhere pleasant in my mind. Any plans for the Black Range? Yeah, they take me away too. Dave Stammy's my favorite, and I've used quite a long time ago when I was first uploading videos, or first started making videos. Back in 2014, I think, is when I used a lot of Dave Stammy's songs. I really like his music. You can tell that, the songs that he wrote, he's been there and done it. It's not something that some guy just made up. He's been there. Anyway, about the Black Range, I said I might be riding up there in the next couple of days. When I lived up there, there was a place I found that I always told everyone I'd go to if there was shit hit the fan scenario, if there was a zombie apocalypse. I said I might go and stay for a day or two and film it, and we might be getting closer now. Thanks. And I do believe that, and that's what I plan on doing this week. If everything goes all right with my doctor's, or with my dad's doctor's appointment tomorrow, then I'm going to go up and I'm going to go to that place where I thought, I don't know anybody who's been reading the news here lately, but it seems like, I don't know, it's kind of doom and gloom. Things don't look too good. And I always said, I had that place up in the mountains, and I had 67 or 68 acres, something like that, and it had water and everything in it. But I'd always told my wife, I said, man, if anything ever happened, I know exactly where we need to go to. And I'm going to go up there. I'm going to film it. I'm going to film going to that place, and I'm going to camp, and I'm going to stay there. And there's a spring, and it's big, rough mountains, and I think it'd make a nice video. I think a lot of people would appreciate it. Let's see. Here's Mr. Turner. Did you find the water? Catch it just southeast of the CCC Dam, just past Massacre Peak. I was right where the dogs broke out, and you had to backtrack to get the mule on the ridge. I never could find the water. I got where those two dams were. I couldn't get to the other dam because there was a fence, and I just didn't take the time to get over there. And it was getting later in the day, and it was starting to get hot, so I got out of there. Okay, that is some great country. This is Todd. At 14 minutes, is that pipe or tubing laying there? I went back through that video and looked, Todd, and I couldn't I couldn't find it. I didn't know what you were talking about. Okay, where's your black Kenneth Miller? Where's your black walking mule? I said, she's at home. I went out the last weekend and packed her. Thanks. Yeah, me, I like Lucy. She's a good mule, and for a day ride, if you just really want to cover the country, she's the one you need to get on because she will move. My big Agnes mule, although she can be very frustrating at times, and she's a tad bit lazy, I like the fact that I can just get off of her and drop the reins and take off and mill around, walk around, eat my lunch, walk up and look and see what the dogs are doing, go wherever I want to, and come back, and she's not no more than 10 or 15 feet away from me. So that was pretty handy. Oh, we got 25 folks in here. That's good. Let's see. New Mexico elk hunter again. Neat video. I may have asked you in the past, but have you read Be Tough or Be Gone? The Adventures of a Modern Day Cowboy about Tom Davis' ride from El Paso to Alaska. No, I hadn't read it at that time, but I ordered it on Amazon. I got it in, and I'm reading it right now. And it's a good book. The guy rode from right here, from El Paso to Alaska, rode right through this country. It's an older book. He did it in the mid 70s. So it's a real good book. And of course, I enjoy anything reading about these guys. And I've read lots of books about these long riders, these guys who take these long rides. And it's something that I want to do before I'm too old to do it. If I can get through all this other stuff, that's one of the reasons I was going to do that Butterfield trail ride is I had these big plans of riding, over 1,000 miles and thought to myself, and then of course my wife, I think she mentioned it to me, said, why are you planning on this big old long ride when you just could go on a little, 200-mile ride here? So that's the plan. Let's see. Have you ever considered a ride in or around the Blue? That's it, over in Arizona. This is from Eric Carlson. Maybe you've already done so and I missed it. Really like the channel. Take care. No, I've never rode or hunted over there in the Blue, but I go over there to it's a dry ground or a lion hunter's rendezvous that they invite me to every year. And I go over there and hang out with those guys. And man, that's some neat country. And there's some cooler type country that a guy could really, might be able to hunt, in the hotter months. Okay. OTB, always look at the comments. Oh, cool. That's good to know. Because I try to answer all of them. Okay, let's see. Arizona Traditional Outfitters. I'd be right at home with that camp. Looks like beautiful country. Where is it at? That was way up in the top of the Black Range. There's a canyon called Railroad Canyon. And then there was a trail, if I remember correctly, that went off to the west. And I can't remember the name of the trail. But I was trying to get up to what they call the Divide Trail, I think. And I never could get up there that way. So I spent the night there and I went around. I went up Railroad all the way up to the top and hit the Divide Trail. And that is the video where I lost Jazz for a couple days. There had been some Tom Lyons going through there and scraping, but it's miserable country. The Forest Service hasn't maintained the trails. The trails are all filled with down timber, and you can't hardly get through there. And then this thorny locust has grown up through the down timber, and it is absolutely miserable country to try to get through. Howard Drummond, good to see you, sir. Yes, sir. Good to see you, too. Okay, I'll be right at home in that camp. Let's see. Houndsman 406 Trekker. Enjoy your videos and the others. How many mules do you have? I've got Lucy, Agnes, Ruth, and Jet. Jet is on retirement. He's served me well. He doesn't owe me anything. He's got to be 30 years old. He still gets around, still meets me at the gate every day. He's a super mule. I bought him, and I had a black mule that I bought at the same time. And I'd never been around mules. I was raised on a quarter horse ranch, and I've rode and trained horses all my life. And I had a rancher friend of mine tell me, said, you need to get a mule, get a good mule. I didn't know nothing about mules, but I knew they were tough. And I went and bought these mules. And if I would have only bought the black mule and rode her, there was nothing wrong with her except she was stubborn, and she was no good out by herself. And you just had to pedal her the whole time. You had to fight her. It was a miserable experience. If that had been the first mule and the only mule I'd ever been, I'd probably never owned another mule. But I started riding Jet, and he was one of a kind. I mean, I need to make a video about Jet. I got videos of him following me up the side of the mountain, just like a dog. I just get off, put the reins around his neck or hook him on the horn of the saddle and take off walking, and he just followed me around like a dog. Let's see, Bob Meyer. I watch your YouTube channel on my TV. Oh, cool. But the comments are not available. They only show on my iPad. That's true. I never thought about that. Okay, let's see. Daniel Romero. How many miles of the trail you plan on doing? In how many days? This is in reference to the Butterfield Trail. What section of the trail sounds like an absolute blast? Real exploring. Be safe. Looking forward to watching that series. Daniel, I'm going to try to ride just through the New Mexico and not from the Texas border, but I want to ride right out of my house. And then I can hit the trail probably it's going to be about 10 or 12 miles from my house. And then it'll probably, time you do all the zigging and zagging, it's probably going to be 200 miles. And the other day I drove over there and I filmed some of it. I haven't made it into a video yet, but there's some sections of private land that I might have a hard time getting through. I didn't want to do. I wanted to stay as true to the trail as possible and not do much road riding. And that's going to be hard to do through that section. I might have to do some road riding, but it's still, I won't be that far off of it, and I'll be in the same direction and have the same destination. Okay, let's see. Otto, hey Brett, a question about your tent. Oh, this is about my rooftop tent. You know how a bridge will freeze before the main road because it's got air flowing under it. On those cold nights and mornings, does it seem any colder up in the air like that compared to having a tent on the ground? Thanks, amigo. In my answer, I answered him. I said, I haven't noticed it, but it stands to reason that it would be colder. It is pretty well insulated on the floor. Thanks. The reasons I've gotten cold in it is because I didn't anticipate the temperature getting as low as it did. It got down below freezing when I went over there and stayed in it in this video. And I just brought a little old cheap sleeping bag. It's a double sleeping bag, has a lot of room. It's easy, it's comfortable to get in. And I didn't notice the cold coming up from the bottom, but it was cold everywhere else. And I got pretty cold. That was my fault. Okay, Duck's Dog. Oh, there's Anecdote of a Houndsman. Me and my mule have a real special relationship. Like a love-hate situation. Yeah, Chris, me and my mules have that same relationship, I'm afraid. Let's see. Hey, Brett, we're all getting pretty excited for this trip. Always enjoy riding along with you and your hounds. If you get the chance, what is the outro song from about the 19-minute mark through the end of the vid? It's real nice. Thanks for all you do. Okay, that was from Duck's Dog. Ghosts of the Rail by Gabriel Lewis. Glad you could ride along. Thanks. A lot of that music I get and I add it. A lot of guys don't like music in the video. And but when I sit down to edit a video, I do a better job if I have some music to kind of set the tone or set the mood. So I got a subscription to what they call Epidemic Sound, and I can download video or download music and use it in my videos. And it helps me. Okay, practice 965. Great video. When did you get that giant flask? Oh, that was when me and my buddy Juan, we packed across the Willow. These are some older videos from back in 2016, 2017. Him and I packed across the Gila Wilderness and then across the Black Range. And it was kind of funny. It's a good story. We that first time, Juan's not much of a drinker, and at that time I drank a little bit. And that first night we got down in the bottom of the Animas, and we had one of the mules had run off, and it had been kind of a wild day. And we got down to the bottom of the Animas, and we were setting up our camp and everything, and hobbling the mules and feeding them and taking care of everything. And Juan was sitting there, and I pulled out the flask, and I said, "Get your cup, your coffee cup." And he brought out his coffee cup, and I said, "You want a shot of whiskey?" And he said, "Sure." And I gave him a shot of whiskey, and I took a shot, and I said, "Cheers! Here's to a safe and fun day." And we clicked glasses, and took a shot and everything. Oh, he just loved it. He thought that was a really cool thing. So that was the very first trip we made, and we made, I think, 4 or 5 trips, different times, one a year there for a while. And I think it was the last trip we made, or second to the last trip, I'd quit drinking completely. Man, we sat down that night and got the mules hobbled and everything fed, and got our bedrolls and our tarp. We always set up a tarp to keep the dew from getting on us, and laid everything out. And he got out his cup and walked up to me and said, where's our whiskey? I said, "Oh man, I quit drinking." Oh, he was so disappointed. So it was kind of funny. Good story. Juan's a good guy. He was always good sport. It was funny. We'd spend, 6 or 7 days together, just packing through the wilderness by ourselves. And it's funny when you're like that. We'd go for, sometimes we'd ride, 8, 9 hours in a day. And we might not talk at all for an hour, maybe 2 hours. And then someone would bring something up, and we'd have a subject, and you just beat it to death, because you don't have, there's no distraction. It's really pretty nice. Let's see. Jeffrey Richardson. Is there a season for hunting those javelina? Yes, there's a season. And I've never hunted them, but I run into them all the time, and I've never really wanted to hunt one because, I just don't care for them. They remind me of a rat, and guys say if it's prepared good. Matter of fact, Chris, who's on here, he says that they're really good to eat, and I just don't want to eat them. And I don't want to hunt them. I don't want my dogs running them, so I don't have much to do with them. I've killed a couple of them because they were causing problems. Okay, do you ever get lost? I have been turned around considerably for a while, but I always found my way out. Yeah, I've lost the trail. I've lost my mule before. I've got off, and Jet, I got off of him, tied him up one time, and went with the dogs down in the canyon. And it was when I was up in the high country, up in the Black Range, and I followed the dogs up a canyon, down another little rim and around, and lost whatever we were trailing. It took me a couple hours to find my mule. I forgot where I tied him up at. Okay, you ever get lost? What month was this filmed? Can you ride all winter there? This is from Sean Burnett. Yeah, we ride all winter. Matter of fact, winter is the best time. It's like right now, it's getting too hot. The problem is it gets too hot to have the dogs out. If they get on something, then you can kill them. They can overheat. I enjoy your videos, but have you ever bait a cat? The magical question. I've caught a few of them. I have. One of the problems that most people don't realize is that the way I hunt is probably one of the hardest ways to try to catch a lion. You get on your mule with no aid of dragging roads or cell phone cameras or anything like that, and you ride through the country and you try to go through places where a lion might cross. So you hit a track. You don't know how old a track it is. And half the time, you hope you on a lion. I mean, my dogs are getting where they're pretty well broke. I've got, some videos coming up where I've caught some lions. Some of them I haven't edited, but I'm going to. I sometimes I feel like, I don't know. I think I try to emphasize more of the adventure and the thought of just being out there. That's just me. Let's see. MV, what is it? 520? MV Animation 520. They taste horrible. That's what I would think too. Okay, this is a good question. Julio James, Brett, the cattle ranchers in your area, are they losing many calves to lions? Great looking wide open spaces. 270 country. I thought that there would be more deer. Thanks again for taking us along. Speaking of losing cattle, I just went out the other day. I got a phone call from a friend, a rancher friend, and said they had a calf kill. And I went out here. It was last Wednesday. I went out and I got out there real early and I filmed it. And sure enough, there was a lion track down in the bottom of that canyon, a small lion track. I mean, it wasn't very big. And I found the calf. But if I wouldn't have found the lion track, I really wouldn't have thought that it was a lion kill. It wasn't. There was no attempt to cover it up. It was a small calf, and it wasn't drug anywhere. It was killed right there, and it wasn't. It was the rear end was ate out of it, which, I would think would be coyote or wild dogs. We got a lot of wild dogs, and I don't know. I had a professional guy come out there, a USDA guy come out, and he looked, and he wasn't sure it was a lion kill either, but he believed, he was going to set out his equipment, but the rancher asked him not to. So there's lots of things that could have happened. The lion could have killed the calf, and then right away it was a small lion, and coyotes could have taken it away from him, I guess. I don't know. There was something going on there. So anyway, okay. Jeremiah Lindsay, plan on doing any bear hunting or lion hunting in Arizona this year? I'd like to go lion hunt in Arizona. Now that I'm retired, I'm going to have a lot more time if I got enough money to go places. Price of fuel is terrible now, but I would like to go to Arizona. I'd like to go to Nevada, and I'd like to go up northern Nevada. And my brother-in-law and sister are on a ranch up there, so I'd like to go up there and hunt some of that country. And I went up there one time before and hunted it, and I filmed a lot of it. I lost a lot of my film. I erased a card by accident, and it's neat country. And they got a good lion population up there. I wouldn't do the snow hunting. It'd all be dry ground. Let's see. Great sport to wait out, or great spot. Oh, this is just where I had a little picture that I found on the internet, and I shared it on my community page. And great spot to wait out a storm. Where did you find this painting? I found it on, I said it was on Facebook, I guess, Facebook. Okay, would you bring me if I draw a tag? Oh, this is on my oryx hunt. Would you bring me if I draw a tag? Laughing out loud, I make it worth your while. If you watch my videos and you draw an oryx tag, I will take you out and show you exactly where the oryx at. And I can't take any compensation for it unless we go through an outfitter, because that's illegal. I'm a guide. I have my guide's license, but I don't guide. I've taken guys out before and got them an oryx, just showed them where to go. But I can't take, like I said, I can't take any compensation for it. Murdoch Roughstock. All right. I love that name. I can show you around Mena, Nevada area. Where's Mena at? Okay. And then Thomas O'Keefe, currently zone. Man, this thing seems so far away to me. Let me see. See if I can make it bigger for my old eyes. Yeah, there we go. Chris, anecdote of a houndsman says, always keep a bottle of whiskey in the bedroll for a guest. Well, yeah. They taste horrible. Where was I? Currently, Zona has larger permit kill rate for mountain lions than they birth. Less permits is coming. All right. Okay. Oh, I made a little short video about the javelina popping his jaws at me. And a New Mexico elk hunter said, where's my 243? No kidding. Okay. Jill Tichy. Jill? Jiri. Jiri. Tichy. Is there a cougar overpopulation? Or are these cougars in areas with domestic animals? Or is the cougar population endangered? They're not endangered, I can tell you that. Everybody I talk to says there's more lions now than there was in the 70s. And one of the reasons is that, first place, the hunters don't hunt the dry ground like they used to. And another thing is that when they quit poison, that poison they use to kill coyotes, I think it killed a lot of lions too. Anyway, my answer is they are in areas where there are domestic animals. They aren't endangered by no means, but I don't think they are overpopulated either. I think you assume that just because I am out hunting them, that I kill them all. I don't. You can hunt them with hounds and be selective about what you kill. Leave the females and young lions. Harvest the toms if you like. Just remember, dead lions leave no tracks. And if we don't have tracks, then we have nothing for our hounds to trail. After all, it is all about the hounds. Boy, I really wrote up a good answer on that one. Let's see, Murdoch Rough 95 highway, 3.5 hours southeast of Reno. 110 miles south of the Fallon, Nevada. Huge cat box out there. Hey, where was Murdoch? Or not Murdoch, Modoc. I used to know a man named Mr. Murdoch. Modoc. Where was old Claude Dallas's camp? I wanted to ride to his bull camp. Up there somewhere. Thomas O'Keefe, lions roar. They growl and they hiss. Thomas O'Keefe, Arizona has about 2,500 cougars. I always hear deer hunters shooting or seeing lions over there. Okay, Jim Itchy, why do you hunt cougars? You think they are overpopulated? Same question, same guy. He must be from somewhere else. It's not Jim, it's Jiri, J-I-R-I. I said they have to be managed. So what does, let's see, Emmett Henderson asks, what does javelina taste like? I don't know. If prepared right, I've heard it's pretty good. Just have to be careful how you handle those musk glands they have on them. Thanks. Yeah, I think Chris was telling me that you just cut that one off their back right away to get rid of it. Julio James, 6 years back, times fly. Oh yeah, that was when I made a video. It's a video from way back when I was living up on the mountain. I lived off grid for a long time. Not for a long time, for almost 3 years. I loved it up there. But man, it was difficult, with family and everything. So you've been able to do a bunch of fun stuff, Brett. Good question on what does the Forest Service do? I was kind of complaining because it seems like the Forest Service doesn't maintain trails like I think they should. Okay, I wonder how much time and effort has been spent on the fighting the forest fires. New technology, better methods. We lose too many forests. Blamed on lightning or some dummies can't fire. Yeah. Be watchful down there. Thanks for posting. You're welcome. Let's see. Okay, Daniel McGillow. Man, my eyes aren't working very good. What kind of mules do you ride? Are they gated, quarter, or grade? I enjoy your videos, and I am in the process of picking up a couple myself. I believe that Lucy, the black mule, I think she's out of a... I bet she's out of a gated, walking horse of some sort. And then Agnes and Ruth are both out of quarter horse mares. Now, Jet, I'm not convinced he's a mule. He might be a hinny, which is the opposite of a mule. That's instead of a jack breeding a quarter or a horse mare, that's a stallion breeding a jenny. Javelina tastes like pork chops. Let's see. Modoc. Claude Dallas was building wagons in Jordan Valley, Oregon. Built one beautiful wagon, then went back to Alaska to mine. It's got a little laughing thing on there, so I don't know what that means. Garland turned Javelina tastes like pork chops. You can have them all, Garland. Let's see. Do you see much game out there on those hills, Brett? Depends where I'm at. You'd be surprised if you go out at night what you will see. I mean, we have, of course, javelina, lions, ringtail cats, deer, mule deer, all kinds of squirrels and rabbits and bobcats. And I got some game cameras I put out, and I get pictures of bobcats and stuff. But most everything in this desert is pretty much nocturnal. Anecdote of a houndsman. I think my sage mule is a hinny as well. She's small. Is she really kind of an in your pocket type mule? Because Jet is. I mean, Jet would rather be with me than with the other mules. Okay. Oh, Billum Gates. This was my journey to. This is when I rode to that. Oh, there's a big old canyon out there in the middle of that dry country that is pretty neat, and there's a spring in it. It has a little bit of water in it, but it was pretty dry when I got in there. Listen, if you put, okay, hold on. The whole Claude story is an unbelievable tale. I know. It's pretty interesting though. And listen, if you put a javelina in a pit and sauce it up, it'll definitely be good. Yeah, I'm sure. It's probably a rat will too, Chris. Paige Tracy, hello from Arizona. Hello from New Mexico. Thomas O'Keefe, I took a Conestoga wagon and team across the U.S. in 1976. That's cool. Did you write a book or have pictures or anything? I'd like to see them. That's Thomas O'Keefe. You know who else did that is Bernie Hobarts. He wrote a book called Too Proud to Ride a Cow, where he rode a mule from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. And then he took some mules and he rode, and he had a wagon, and he rode from, I think from Canada to Mexico. And he made a little film. There's a film, I think it's on Amazon. That's pretty cool. I like any kind of primitive travel like that. Seeing the world at 3 miles an hour. That's pretty cool. Jeffrey Morgan, the Butterfield Trail hasn't gone nowhere. It will be there after you take care of your dad. Hats off to you. Thank you, Jeffrey. I think, and I don't want to do it during the heat, not during the heat of the summer. I mean, not because of me so much, but because I want to take a couple young dogs with me. And you just can't cross that old desert with a couple dogs in the summertime like that. It's too hard on them. Okay. Oh, that question. Did you and your dogs and your mule almost die? No, we didn't almost die, but we got thirsty. My mule was okay. She don't hardly drink water when we're out like that. And, but the dogs, they get dry. I mean, they get dry and they get thirsty. I feel sorry for them sometimes. I mean, it's not like, I mean, they would die, but you get out like and get hot and they start getting where they don't want to go and they start shading up. You might as well just, find a place to tie your mule and get off and lay under the shade and wait until it gets dark and then come home. Okay, Thomas, it was on the Bicentennial Wagon Train. I was on the Santa Fe Trail. That's a cool story. Okay, practice 965. You always give GPS stats after your rides. Why in the world don't you waypoint the camera so you're not looking for a tree you haven't been to in over a year? Yeah, no, the guy was right. That was practice 965. I made a video. I had a game camera up there, and I hadn't checked it for a year, and I went back to look for it, and I couldn't find it. And that's my fault. I mean, I should have. He's right. I should have. You just take your GPS out and mark it as a waypoint, or your Onyx map, or your Onyx on your phone, mark it as a waypoint, and boom, you can go right back to it. I just didn't do it that time, and it took me forever to find it. Okay, let's see. Julio James, nice mountain area. Look challenging. Give the mules some time off. How many? Oh, this one I went out in the buggy. This has been, but that video I made it a year ago. It was last summer, I think. Give the mules some time off. How many times have you ran across new citizens or immigrants? New citizens. I've never heard that term before. Immigrants are migrants. How did it go? I watched drug smuggling operation a couple times. Interesting. I haven't run into that many. Of course, I don't go right down on the border. I'm close to the border. I can see it from where I'm at. But I rarely get down on the border. And we have a really heavy Border Patrol presence here. So I imagine they get caught before they get this far up. Let's see. Modoc Rough Stock. The Surbot Mountains north of Golden Valley, Arizona, west of Kingman, has a lot of cats. We drilled up there this winter. Kingman. Let's see, west of Kingman. I think, isn't it Cal? I think Cal Allen's over there in that country and he hunts. And I think Chris Todd hunts that country too. Okay. I can't ever say this guy's name. Ferratilis. Nice day, nice area. Do you ever keep an eye out for fossils or meteorites? Seemed like that would be a good place to find some. I'm always looking. I wouldn't know what a meteorite was if it was sitting right here on the table, though. I wouldn't know what it looked like. But yeah, I'm always looking for something strange. We found a few things, and before fossils, or we found had a guy with me one time from he was from Washington, and I know it's probably illegal to do, so I won't say his name. But he picked up, it was like a hammerhead. But it was chiseled in a rock. I don't know what you'd call it. He picked it up and he kept it. Okay, catch them live. Okay, catch them live. This is with the Mike Root interview where I interviewed Mike Root. He's a old time lion hunter, dry ground lion hunter, a heck of a guy. Really, he when I was back in the 80s, when I was wanting to hunt lions, he was one of the guys that I looked up to. Let's see, Murdoch, Rustock. I saw 2 different hunting parties there a few times. Okay, let's see. He writes, what is he talking about at the 1 hour and 8 minute mark where he is talking about something in a rat nest and hunting the dogs? Chuya or something? Choya? I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch the video. Oh, speaking of those interviews, I'm still doing them, and I'm going to do some more, but I have another YouTube channel. It's called Interview Stories and Tales, and it's going to be more. Matter of fact, I just uploaded a video of I went to Oklahoma earlier this year with a guy named Cody King. He has these running walkers, and everybody wanted to see if those running walkers could catch bobcats in Oklahoma or out of South Texas, the dogs he had. And we went up there and I filmed the hunt, and then I kind of incorporated it into an interview. Me and Cody and Derek Edwards all sat down, and I interviewed them, and then I put the video inside the interview of the hunt. So that might be interesting to some of you guys. It's over there on Interview Stories and Tales, and eventually I'm going to put all the interviews and stuff over there. And this channel is going to be more just about, my travels and what I do. I enjoy filming. I enjoy kind of editing and seeing what I can do. Okay. Is there any good videos about freeze branding dogs? That's something I don't know anything about, but would love to give it a try. I think there is. And it's, it's probably something I should do, is freeze brand some of my dogs. I've just never done it. Let's see. Thomas O'Keefe, the New Mexico teamster, used wild burros he caught in the desert. Had 6 of them. Broke them to pull a wagon. Worked great. I bet that would work great. Okay. New Mexico elk hunter. Neat. Where was this at? Oh, that was in the Gila Wilderness. It was it was a little short I made out of the video I made of traveling across the Gila. Okie dokie. Ever have a dog snake bit? Many, many times. I've only had one dog die from a snake bite, and that was Sissy. And she was already 13 years old, and she wasn't bit in the face. She was bit in the leg, and it was really my fault. She had, she was 13 years old. She had game shot out to her before, and she was up on the side of the mountain a little bit further up there, and that snake was in a hole, and I had my little 22 with me, and I shot at the snake, and I missed him, but he started rattling. She heard me shoot, and she come running down and just ran right into that hole, and then stopped and looked back at me, and that snake struck her and hit her on the leg. And we doctored her and took care of her, kept her alive for a week, but she eventually died. But all this dogs, I've had lots of dogs bit on the face, and I've never had a dog die that was bit on the face. Now they'll lose tissue and stuff. Sheila, she got bit. She was bit a couple times, and she lost some tissue on her jaw there. What are you using to get stats at the end of the ride? I said I use my Garmin Alpha. It has a trip computer that I reset before I leave. Yeah, I like to reset my Garmin, my GPS, and then I can kind of see how fast Agnes is traveling, and then how many miles. I'm always curious how many miles I go. Okay, I'd like to contact you, brother. Do you have a regular email? Thirst for Truth. And then I share my email right there. And you can get on, if you go to my channel page and you go to more info or something like that, I think my emails, there's a link to my email, or there's a place where you can find my email right there. And here's, hey buddy, how can I get in touch with you? Shoot me an email. And I don't think I ever heard from this guy. Sounds good, partner, like your video. He wrote me a couple messages. I don't think I ever got an email from him. Chris says, I think that it's scary to put a freeze brand video up due to the animal activists causing trouble about it. I never even thought about that. If I make one, I will end up having to freeze brand my own self to prove it isn't that bad. You know, it seemed like I've seen that on somewhere on Facebook video or something. I've seen some guy, they were freeze branding dogs and they freeze branded themselves. I don't think I'll freeze brand myself. Okay, Joey Conklin. Want to know the craziest thing? Ocelots actually hunt these boogers alone. Laughing out loud. Don't know how they do it. That was about the Coatimundes. I've treated several Coatimundes. I'll tell you what happened the other day when I was out at that calf kill. I won't share the video, but I videoed a little bit. My dogs caught a stinking badger. Those things are tough. You know, I had 8 hound dogs out there, and they're flipping him around and everything. And I finally got him off, and there he went. He took off. No worse for the wear. Modoc, rough stock. I must work this last season in Arvada, Nevada, till October. Then I'm going to travel with horse and trailer in around Four Corners. Cool. And just camp and ride trails, and that sounds like a deal. Okay, Robert Hambley, I have a question. What do you take with you every time on your rides, even if they are a couple hours long? I think I made a video of that. I mean, there's some things I need to make another one. I don't think that one was very good. There's some things, you know, I guess those guys call it EDC, everyday carry. And I probably could make a video about that, my everyday carry. I mean, there's certain things there's certain things I never walk out of the door without. And there's certain things I never get on a mule and ride somewhere without. And then, depending on where I'm going and how long I'm staying, there's certain things I don't go. If I'm going to stay for a night or two, I don't ever leave without. So I should make those videos. Sounds like a plan, Modoc. Yes, sir. Live off grid. That's my plan now that I'm retired. If I can get through all this stuff with my dad and everything, then, man, I want to go and see some things and do some things. Oh, Chuck Miller. Did Bruce Kennedy tell you about the mule named Claymore? Every time you turned right, the mule blew up. Didn't take long to realize what they named that mule Claymore. I'd never heard of him. I talked to Bruce Kennedy a lot back years ago, but Bruce has passed on since then. But he's the one who did all the Warriors of El Gato interviews of all the old-time lion hunters. Thomas O'Keefe. Are you guys liking this? We got 42 people in here. If you like it, send a thumbs up. Let me see the thumbs up. Let's see, it's 5 after 3 here. And I've never done this before, so I don't know much about it. Just going through these questions. I don't know if it's interesting or just whatever. It's kind of interesting to me because it's been a long time since I've read them. Oh, this is a good one. This is the one I thought that other one. And then Chris says, I'm real bad about not taking things. I have my knife, my lighter, a rifle, and some water. Man, a guy don't need much more than that. I mean, I'll make a video one of these days. There goes a bunch of thumbs up. Thomas O'Keefe. This is the good one, guys. This guy's scolding me a little bit here. I don't want to clip your horns, but to me, you were not alone in the sticks. Do you really need that many hound dogs? I said, laughing out loud, no, not alone. And yes, I do need them. And then I wrote another comment. I said, I guess I should say, I don't need them. I want them. Modoc Rostock, 227 here. Yeah, my clock must be off. Julio James, Brett, would that mule have taken a drink if you had taken a hat full of ice water to her? I think there might be a reason for no binoculars. You won't shoot a lion at a distance, and you want those dogs to trail and then tree. Hear them howl. So why pack them? Get used to having them. To find a lost dog or point of interest. I am a classer. Thanks again. I always think I got a nice set of binoculars. I tell you something. I found a pair of, I don't know how to pronounce, Swarovski binoculars one time, way out in the middle of nowhere. And but I don't pack them with me. I always try to limit the weight as much as possible. I feel like you just carry too much stuff on your mule. It can't help. Let's see. Aiden, ever need purple piece? Jack, hand purple blue piece. What? I don't understand, Jack. Aiden, ever need a road partner to split the gas bill with? Let me know. Now that I changed my career, I finally have time to hunt some other places I've always wanted to. Just holler at me, Aiden. We'll get together. But Robinson, thumbs up. Garland Turner. Regarding fossils in New Mexico, they are extremely common. Yeah, I know, but being around you, you're good at finding stuff like that, Garland. I'm not. Practice 965. Don't know how to do thumbs up, but yes, I'm thoroughly enjoying this and your videos. Thank you. Modoc, laughing out. 209 Starry, stepped on my glasses. Okay. Okay. No, yeah, I don't carry binoculars. No, I don't think the mule. She just, Agnes, not a big drinker. I mean, she won't drink a lot, and then when she does, she usually drinks pretty good, when she decides to. Julio James, another great episode, Brett. Oh, this is where I interviewed Jim Farmer. Barometric pressure. Jim does not kill. No, Jim won't kill a lion. That's not the norm, is it? You don't kill all the time either. I wonder if you were not all tied up with cameras and all that goes with it, how much more successful at treeing you and the hounds would be. But that's not the point. It being in the area. Don't sell yourself short in any faction of this game. You have been there and done it. Got the t-shirt and brought us videos. Thank you. Well, thanks, Julio. I don't know how much more successful I'd be. I know if I traveled around more and I hit better country, and if I got into areas and hunted it and seen if there's a lion moving around, if there wasn't, and then I moved out and went to another area, yeah, I'd be a lot more successful. In the last 5 or 6 years, I've been kind of lazy. I just hunted here. After I moved out of the mountains, it kind of got, where I didn't want to drive very far, and I just would hunt these little desert mountains around here. And nobody else hunts them. I never run into another lion hunter except for Robert Pino, a friend of mine. He hunted them for a while, but he's quit now. And it's hard to catch a lion out here. There's a reason why nobody hunts them. But I've caught 5 lions right out here in this desert. This just in the last year and a half. Okay, Paige, what is the strangest thing you have ever found on your outings? What is the strangest thing? Let me think about that for a while. Trying to think. Get a New Mexico Geology Guide of New Mexico road cuts on the highways. Will give detailed directions to the sedentary formations with fossils. Carlin, you're missing the point. I'm not looking for fossils. I'm looking for lion tracks. Yeah, so yeah, Mr. Jim's caught a lot of lions in his life. And I'm sure he's killed his share of lions. A lot of the older guys like that, they don't care anything about killing one anymore. Aiden, Morocco can, yes sir. Looking forward to, especially now that he's responding to somebody else. Now that I have a couple dogs, I halfway trust. I'm still looking for some that I trust. How far did he run? Oh, that fox I caught a treat of fox earlier this year. That's a mystery. I don't know. I don't know. I thought we were trailing a lion, and I still think we were trailing a lion, and I think that fox was just a pop-up. I think they were trailing that lion. They popped that fox up, and they just put a lot of pressure on him real quick and put him in a tree. And he lived. I let him. I missed video on one of the best parts. Rusty climbed almost to the fox. I mean, got right up there next to him and then slipped and fell and did like a flip. Whoop, whoop, bop, and hit that right on his back. Jumped up and started treeing again. Thought it should have killed him. How can you not love the fox hunting? If I could consistently catch them, I would run them. That would be fun. Aaron Richards, what tapaderos you using? I'm using some big old heavy rawhide tapaderos that James Morris made for me. Or James Morris sells. They're probably too heavy. Probably need to just get some good leather ones. Paige Tracy, have you seen any jaguars yet? No, I haven't. But I would like to go down there and hunt some of that country down in the Boot Hill, down in the Animas area. That's where Warner Glenn caught that jaguar. Got and he wrote that book. I've got it here somewhere called Eyes of Fire, I think is what it's called. It's got some really neat pictures of that jaguar. Chuck Clark, love your videos, truly enjoy them. Have you done a video on your gear, especially what you pack for overnight stays? The gear you wear, do you carry more than one item? More in one of something in case of failure, the gear for the dog's tents, stuff like that. Thank you. Now I need to make that video. I haven't made it yet. I listened to a podcast. Brent Reeves has got a podcast that he just started, and he's a friend of Clay Newcomb's from Bear Grease. It's called Country something. And he was talking about what he carries, every time he leaves the house, what he carries. And he carries 2 pocket knives. One pocket knife is just his and it's a case. Case? It's not an old timer, it's a case. And it's his good pocket knife, and he does not loan it out. And he carries another pocket knife for people who don't have their own knife and they want to borrow his, and he lets them borrow that one. I thought that was kind of interesting. Thomas O'Keefe, the cougar holds Guinness World Record of being called by different names, like mountain lions, 40 different names. Yeah, catamount, cougar, mountain lion, lion. Anecdote of a houndsman, country living, I believe. That's it, Chris. What are you going to do when Social Security takes your money from videos? Well, let me tell you what, it's not going to hurt a whole lot. Because most of the money that I do get is from the guys who support me on Patreon, and then the membership on YouTube. You can become a member for like $5 or $1 or $10. I can't even remember, but and that kind of supports what I do and kind of pays the bills. The AdSense amount of money that I make is really, really not that much. I mean, I just, I'm not Mr. Beast. I don't get millions and millions of views. I get a lot of views for what I do, or I feel fortunate that I get as many as I do. Being an old man, hell, I'm a 61-year-old YouTuber. I mean, but it's good. I mean, I appreciate all of it. Okay, Jeffrey Shim, you can't beat the old Muellers. Mule pet name, or am I the only crazy mule person? I don't know. Not the only one. Battleborn Air Guns, just wanted to say thank you for your killer videos and fun stories. Just found your channel about 4 months ago. Thank you for sharing. Super cool, dude. Well, thank you, Battleborn Air Guns. I appreciate that. C-2, 2 months ago. Where, in reference to Las Cruces, were you? I was in a secret, undisclosed location. Wow, what different country? I'm in South Central Nebraska. Yeah, it's a little different than over there. Ever see UFO while camping? No, I haven't, but me and my wife watched last night a documentary. Guy's name's Fox, who made it. It's called Moment of Contact, and it's about the story of the aliens and this crash, kind of like what happened or they say happened in Roswell, but happened in Brazil, and it'll really get you to thinking. It costs like $5 to rent it on Amazon Prime, and it's real interesting about UFO crashed and these aliens, and there's these 3 little girls that actually seen one of them. They were alive, and of course I'm like Joe Rogan says, I want to believe it, and I know they seen something. Oh well, you'll have to watch the movie and then get back with me. Walt Weaver, serious wind problem. Yeah, there's always wind in this country. What state are you located in? Just curious about the area. New Mexico. Is it the red fox or gray fox that climb trees? These are gray foxes. Are you in Utah, Nevada? No, New Mexico. Brett, you have had many mules go lame. Have you had many mules go lame on you while you were out? Bad sole bruise, cuts, leg twist, etc. Dislocate. Desolate rough country. I'm sorry. Thanks again. No, I've soared Jet. I tried to ride Jet barefooted before, and he can't take going barefoot. Ruth can't take going barefoot. They get too sore-footed. Agnes, I haven't put shoes on her in 2 years. She's tough. Her feet are tough, hard. And I had a farrier come out the other day and put shoes on Ruth. And I was talking to him, and I said, let's take a look at Agnes. And he said, man, she's got good feet. And they're hard. And, 1 year I put shoes on her because I thought she was getting sore-footed, but there was no difference. So I'm going to ride her barefooted as long as I can. But, like Jet and Ruth, they get sore-footed. And I'm sure Lucy would too. Agnes, she's just tough now. Or like my grandpa used to say, where there's no sense, there's no feeling. Wait, how much do you get paid to hunt lions, and how do you get into this? I want to do this. I don't get paid nothing for hunting lions. The only thing I get is my little bit of AdSense and stuff from making the videos and sharing them. I have taken guys lion hunting in the past. To me, it takes all the fun of it. It takes all the fun out of it for me. And because there's, when you do it, there's a lot of pressure to try to get them a lion. That's what they're out there for, is try to kill a lion. And to me, I don't. It puts too much pressure on me. I don't like that. I don't want anything to take the fun out of it for me. Jeff Johnson didn't think that dang kitty cat would jump. I don't know. I think he's talking about that fox. Julio James, Brett, I wonder how long you hunted lion before you started filming your great adventures. I was working on watching all your videos a bunch. This country you are in here should be loaded with wild animals. Have ever hunted lion? Will not shoot a bear, just elk, deer, javelina, and coyote a bit. That is a nice tent. Happy trails, and thanks for filming and posting. Oh, have you ever wondered how many gold nuggets you have walked over? I always wonder about that. Let's see. My husband and I sure enjoy your longer videos. Oh, thank you, Paige. I found that I like to make the longer videos better. It seems like I can at least tell a little bit better story. Chris, I only run fronts on Sage and Ruth. My Mustang Chupacabra doesn't have no iron. Easy Keeper, let's see. Modoc, Lane Creek, Battery, Ayersville, Georgia. Must be talking to somebody else. Paige Tracy. Do you ever go out to the Chiricahua National Monument? No, I've thought about it. The cherry cows, we call them. I've thought about it. I had a friend of mine that caught quite a few lions down there. Yeah, I've probably walked over a lot of treasure. Let's see. Where you live is just beautiful. Thank you. What the hell do you do for a living? Now, why would somebody ask that question? And I answered, I have a cathodic protection company. We protect structures from corroding, and that's what I did for years. And I sold it. The guy takes complete control of the business come June. So I might have to go get another job somewhere. Tyler McCauley, I want to know how you follow the dogs trying to trail. I ride my horse and oftentimes find myself trying to keep up with the dogs. But do you slow down your walk speed when they get started on a track, or do you try to keep with them on the track? I try to keep with them, but at a distance. I don't want to interfere with what they're doing, but I want to see what they're doing if I can. Like if I can, I got a video coming out pretty soon. It'll be probably in a month or so, but you can see that the dogs are trailing down the bottom of the canyon. And I'm up on the side of the canyon. That, to me, that's ideal. I'm up high. I can stay up high and watch them work the bottom of the canyon. And that's, to me, that's ideal. I can hear them good. I can see what dogs are doing what. And to me, that's perfect. Thomas O'Keefe, delicate balancing act between cougars hunted and birth rate. Right now, it's out of balance. If you have time, Thomas, explain that to me. What you mean? How is it out of balance? In what way? Thanks. Aiden, same. I have a draft-bred mule whose feet are hard as stone. Had to heat his hoofs last time I got them trimmed. My two others will soar in one day, if not shod. Yeah, that's about the same thing. Is this guy for real? This guy, Larch, L-A-R-C-H, Larch. That's what his question is. Is this guy for real? He's talking about me. My answer is nope. Just a figment of your imagination. Mike Madden, do you ever take someone along? For a few, of course. I do sometimes. See, Mike Madison, would love to discuss that with you if interested. I can't, like I said, I can't charge. The only way I can charge is if we go through an outfitter. And I mean, I have, Mike Roots told me if I ever want to take anybody that, just let him know and could run it through his deal. I do have my guide's license. I don't really catch enough lions to, advertise here. Let's go, go lion hunting with me. But I've often thought, I should take people just on day rides or whatever, maybe pack trips. I don't know. And it's not that I don't like people. Sometimes I just like to, just go by myself, I guess. Have you changed cameras? Clearest video you've made. Guess you like wine. You're like wine, getting better with age. Thanks. Enjoyed. Man, I keep trying to improve my videos, but it's hard when you're carrying, you're just on a mule. And you can only carry so much. And now I use a GoPro Hero 11, and of course sound is so important. So I carry it has an external mic on it. So then you get an external mic, and then I have to put this big, they call it a dead cat, but it's a wind muff that breaks, that cuts the wind noise on your mic. And it's kind of a pain. Like this last video when I went out on that calf kill, I didn't realize it while I was filming, but the bottom part of that wind muff or that thing is in my camera, or is in the frame. So I have to change it out, or I have to zoom it in my edit so I can cut that part out. It's kind of a pain. Let's see. Paige, do you ever think you could get your wife on an overnight? Maybe in my rooftop tent I could, Paige. I don't think she would go out on a mule. That's just not in her makeup. She don't really care about that. Yeah, it's out of balance. Okay. Yeah, it's out of balance. I saw a lion walking downtown Mena with a house cat for dinner. Wow. Do you ever think, let's see, Thomas O'Keefe, kill rate is about 17% of total population, while birth rate is about 13%. Not sustainable, so less permits will be issued in Arizona. I wonder who came up with how do they know the birth rate? How is that determined? I don't know how lions are so secretive and cryptic and nocturnal, and I don't know how you could figure out what the birth rate is. Lorenzo Escobedo, ever tried running plot hounds? No, I haven't, but I guarantee you if I was running bears, I would have me some plot hounds, because I heard they're some of the best bear dogs there are. And then Orville Fletcher, I got to hunt with Orville Fletcher one time, or a couple times, and he's around this area, he's a real famous old-time lion hunter. And he told me the best hound he ever had was a plot hound, best lion hound. Let's see, Cameron McLean. I'm not colorblind. I got into a line of hounds that were known for being cold-nosed, and that's what I've kind of stuck with. Cameron McLean, do you see a problem running hounds on multi-species? Yeah, I do. I think it's just that, how can I put this? Just running bear is so much different than running lions. I mean, and I think that to run lions in the dirt, it takes a pack of hounds, and you got to have some really, really cold-nosed, trail-minded hounds. Now, those same cold trail-minded hounds might not be the kind that are going to pick their head up and go run and catch something. And I got a video coming out, and I might explain this a lot, because I've got some run and walker crosses now. And although the one I have, Jack, he can smell it, but he doesn't have the desire to just stick his nose down in cold trail. He will, but you can tell he gets bored. You look at him, he'll stand up on a rock and start looking around like, where's there to catch? But when things warm up and that track gets hot, he's the one that's out there in front carrying the mail. He's moving the track. So I think, you can I think it's best to have a combination of dogs. Garland Turner, you need to develop a mule ear camera mount, as your mules seem to always know where the action is located. It's really fascinating with those mules. They get used to hearing those dogs bark, and they like to kind of stay up with the dogs. Okay, I'm going to answer a couple more of these questions on here. Okay, thank you, sir, for the videos. What about snakes and dogs? Any problems? What kind of collar are you using for your dogs? I use the Garmin collars. They got these new ones now. I don't know what number they are or anything like that, but the batteries last for a long, long time. I don't know what they're called. And then I use that Garmin Alpha to track them. Bill Bickley, love your videos. What's your young dogs out of that you're just starting? I got some really neat young dogs that I'm really proud of. And I traded one to a guy down in West Texas that catches a lot of lions, and I kept the other 4. I got 2 males and 2 females. They're a quarter run and walker, and 3/4, or a quarter run and walker, a quarter blue tick, and half out of their mother was my P dog, which is as cold-nosed and as a trail-minded dog as you can get. And I've had them out. I've had them on a couple lions, and they're really pretty neat dogs. I think they're going to be the ticket. Thomas O'Keefe, cougars once had bounty on them, and population was in trouble. They monitor birth and kill rate for decades. How are they monitoring birth? I know they can monitor kill rate by the tags, and they have to check in the lions, but I still wonder how they can monitor birth rate. What part of the Southwest are we looking at? I haven't spent much time in that part of the country and would like to check it out on a map. 12.7 miles. Oh, that's when I asked everybody to guess how far I went. 12.7. Thanks for taking this long. Yep, I'm in Southwest New Mexico. Why would you leave her tail under the britch? And I've had people ask me that a jillion times, that I don't pull her tail. I don't pull Agnes's tail out from under the britchin. She pulls it out herself when she needs to take a whiz or a dump. She pulls her tail out herself. Okay, Modoc, rough stock. I ain't never killed the lion, but I have choked a cougar. Okay. What was the kill? Was it a deer? It was an elk. That was when I caught that big tom over up in not in the highest country, but there's some real good in-between country. I traveled up there, and I set up my tent, and I camped up there. I seen lion sign, so I camped up there, and I got to stay for a couple days, and I caught a big tom. And then like 4 days later, I took Mike Root up there, and he had a couple guys from New York with him that he was guiding, and we caught a little tom. We didn't catch that same big tom because I didn't kill him, but we caught a little tom. Or is it 100 years fashionably late? Yeah. I don't know. I've never been much on fashion. Practice 965. Game and Fish monitors lion birth rates the same way they monitor quail populations, they guess. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know, because I don't think many people, I've read the books about the lion, about they did I think it's a 10-year study in the San Andreas Mountains back here, and it's in the military base, and it's a chain of mountains, probably, I don't know, it's 60, 70 miles long maybe, and they snared lions. They used dogs for a while, but it's this country that I hunt. It's hard to catch a lion in this country, so they snared them, and they equipped them with monitoring, with collars, and they monitored them that way, and it's really an interesting book. It's hard to read. I always tell everybody it's written in real scientific jargon, so it kind of hurts my teeth to read it, but I got it in my bookshelf there somewhere. But anyway, it's interesting. Let's see, Saddle Tramp computer models. Yeah, but how does it work? Bushy's Howling Hounds. Hello, everyone. Hope all is well. Howdy, howdy. Where are you at? I got horses too. I am wanting to get out. Just get out. Saddle up and ride out. Let's see. I just happened on your channel. This is Julio James when he first started. You went to Arizona. Something about seeing some lion hunters there. Yeah. This film looks a bit like parts of Arizona. So what state are you in? I guess Utah, no, New Mexico. You take you as something and get out there and enjoy life. Yeah, I do. Thanks. I want to see more of your sojourns around the hills. Yes. How much for the truck? Oh, I sold that old truck. I got $3,000 for it. Motor was good. The truck was smooth, wore out. It was a Dodge 2002 Dodge Cummins diesel. I bought it straight off the lot and wore it out. Except for the motor. The transmission went out 3 times in that truck. And the last time is going to cost $4,000 to get it replaced, so I just sold the truck. Probably using that one study. Maybe, I don't know. I hear different things. I just want to know. I just would like to know how they determine the birth rate. How would they do that? I just turned 62, always lived in the mountains, central Idaho, and you're right. A guy has has to trim the list down. The older I get, the faster the time seems to go by. No kidding. Like how many more hunting years are left? Should be doing something I never got around to doing. Changes things around. Serious stuff. The clock is ticking, and that's absolutely. Seems like you hit a certain age, and you up until that age, you always think you got all the time in the world. Then you get to that age, and you think, oh man, the end is I can see the end. These guys made fun of me because on that video I had 2 pairs of sunglasses, and and this guy wrote, "Hello, at what age do I need 2 pairs of sunglasses?" And my answer to him is I said, well, you should start as soon as possible. Get prepared for when you're old and you can't find them, even if they are on your head. Thanks. Oh, jeez. Do you fly your drone? Yeah, I like to fly my drone. I like to try to get a good video with a different angle. See what? It's kind of tricky. I've flown it before, riding a mule and leading a pack mule and flying the drone. That takes some skill. Thomas O'Keefe, check out Arizona Mountain Lion Foundation for info on kill and birth rate. I don't know who those people are. I have a hard time with people who have an agenda. And depending on what their agenda is, it goes both ways. I mean, you hear the deer hunters start crying, saying, well, there's too many lions. And then you hear the tree huggers or the animal rights people start talking about there's not any. And I'm sure somewhere in between is the truth. But I want to know the facts is all. Just tell me what the facts are and how you determined what the results you came up with, and they're not skewed. Modoc Roughstock. The trackers were looking for sheep in Candelaria Mine for study purpose when they decided no sheep were in the area. They left as we filled up the water truck, then scared up 2 dozen at the building. Let's see. What point were you making? Home, away from home. I don't know. I said laughing out loud. It was my camp. It's just a little short video I made of my camp up there. Are you gold prospector? No, I'm not. But I always keep my eyes peeled for stuff. Where's your wife? This is a lady, Laverne, asking me where's my wife. Home, I think. I hope. David Pitts, just found your channel. I really enjoy your content, which brings me to a question. Have you ever considered prospecting? Seems like a good fit for you. I'll tell you what I did, and I haven't used it yet because I started reading the rules, and there's limited places where I can do it. I'm sorry, I get confused. I bought a metal detector, and I thought, man, I could go out and take a pack mule and get to some of these remote locations and run the metal detector. And there's some places I can do it, and I'm going to. But okay, this is when I'm ready to trade my truck and trailer in on a good mule. There you go. Ride right out of the yard. Save on fuel. Save the environment. Thomas O'Keefe, how do you learn if you trust nobody? It's not that I don't trust nobody. It's that I want to know how they determined it. I want to use my own judgment to find out if the methods they use are trustworthy and correct. That's all. Okay, Simper, that's the easiest parts, Thomas. Yeah. Modoc, Roughstock, I have Mustangs. I've always heard Mustangs are good to get around in the mountains. Born and raised in that country, so. Okay, let's see. 53, 41 thumbs up. We're doing good. Just found your channel. I really enjoy your content, which brings to a question. Have you ever considered... prospecting, that was the one. Does anyone else see the face in the window on the thumbnail photo? Okay, there you go, guys. Go through my videos and find one of my thumbnails and look. There's an old rock building, and in the window, there is a face. And I did that. I put a kind of a faint face in that window, seeing if anybody would notice it, and Stephen Meek, he noticed it. Eurasian doves? Oh, I'm not sure. We used to hunt doves all the time. I love to hunt doves. I don't like to eat them. They're not. I just don't like to eat them. But I love to shoot them. They were fun. Flyovers. New to the channel, and my biggest question is, why 2 pairs of sunglasses? My answer is, laughing out loud, you mean you don't always carry 2 pairs? Boy, is this nice to listen to the doggers. Cheers from Germany. Oh, a guy from Germany is listening to Mike Root's interview. That's cool. Where's Chet Johnson? He's on retirement. I let my grandkids ride him. And then I had some people, they come down, they bought a dog from me. They were from Canada. Really, really nice people. And I think they have a YouTube channel. I can't remember the name of their channel. They came down and I let their kids ride Jet. And I rode Agnes, and we went out through the desert there behind the house. What's the brindle dog on the head of the lion? Sighthound cross. Oh, yeah, that was a dog I had. I caught a lion. This was up by camp. It's one of the first films I made where I actually caught a lion. And I caught a big tom. And I still had one of my sighthounds that I'd gotten him when he was young. And he was a quarter dogo, a quarter pointer, and half sighthound. And when that lion came out of the tree, that dog was on that lion's head. He was a double tough booger. Let's see. Hi, Brad. Another good video. Like to hear more about the hunting dogs. Do you have any videos of your dogs working? Found your video scrolling through YouTube when they caught a mountain lion, I think. Okay, Semper. So many folks in these parts realize they can't care for their equestrian hobbies long term. Too many retirees are idealists when it comes to their livestock where I live. Codger County, Florida. Huh. Yeah, I think a lot of people, they see it and they kind of get involved in the romance of it, and they think it's something they would like to do. And then when it comes right down to doing it, the work that's involved, the care that's involved. And then I've seen people who, get out and they think it's going to be cool and everything, and they get tired, and it gets their mule or their horse throws a fit, and they don't know how to handle it, and it kind of scares them. And they, next thing you know, they're selling their stuff. I just, I think I've told the story before. When I was a kid, I rode. I showed horses from when I was a little kid. As long as I can remember. I think I was like 5 or 6 years old, and I won the Tiny Tots class at the State Fair in Albuquerque. And I always rode, but I remember going deer hunting. My dad would go deer hunting every year. And I think I was 9 or 10 years old. And my older brother-in-law was married to my older sister, and she's passed away now. But we rode up there deer hunting up there in the mountains, and it was in November, and I remember it being cold and everything. And I was so little, I rode double. I rode behind Dave on a old roan gelding we had named Poco. And I remember then thinking, man, this is the funnest thing I've ever done. And I spent the rest of my life trying to figure out how to get back in, spend more time in the hills and riding. And I like to ride. I go out on the buggy, but it doesn't, as a friend of mine says, it doesn't fill my soul like being on the back of a horse or a mule and riding through the country. I don't know why. It just does it for me. I like my buggy. I can get somewhere fast in it, but if I had a choice, I'd rather be on a mule. Okay, what kind of rifle and caliber? I'm hoping for a Winchester Marlin or a 3220 4407. That's Winchester model 94 3030. I've carried it. As a matter of fact, my dad gave it to me when I was like 11 years old. I just discovered, Arizona Unplugged. I just discovered the channel. What part of the country are you in? Southern New Mexico. All right. Let's see. Craig Carver in Paradise Valley, Nevada, shot a big old Tom under an old mobile home. Cadre County was a cheap joke. All right, we got 48 people that were in here. What happened to turning business over to family? Oh. Let's see. At 61, you have another quarter century ahead of you. Hope you make a go of this YouTube thing, but I do wonder how a feller can make a living just filming himself, going about his daily business. How many YouTubers can advertisers carry? I can tell giving up your business was hard. Keep up the good content. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I like to create content. I don't know. I even if I wasn't getting paid anything, I would keep doing it. It's because it's something I enjoy. Outside of an equine is good for the inside of the man. That's true. Bud Robinson, Semper Eternus. I grew up tacking out Tennessee Walkers. Let's see. What happened to turning business over to family? David Buckman. No, I'm not related to him. I just didn't really work out. If any of my family had wanted to go to school, the way business has changed and evolved nowadays, it's our business. I just didn't. My grandson would have really wanted to do it, really craved it, and he didn't. He wants to do his own thing, and I don't blame him. But the guy who's taking over my business, man, he's so smart, and he's an engineer. He's got a degree, and he craves it. I mean, he does things now that I've never done, and he's going to be a lot more successful than I ever dreamed of being. I just did enough. I did enough to buy hay and put fuel in my truck and pay the bills, and then I was out. Let's see, Aiden Rascati. I'm running some plot tick crosses now. That awesome 25 plot 75 Henderson Southwest bred. My dogs are Henderson. No, my dogs aren't Henderson bred. On one side, going back to a dog I had named Susie, so there's probably just a little bit of Henderson. I bet they might be similar to what you're doing with yours and Cody's. I'd really like to see how yours do. I got a video coming up. I'll share with you guys, and here in the next, I don't know, it'll be a while because I got to get it edited correctly, and there's a bunch of garbage in it. So grandson, you're a young man. I got a 19-year-old grandson. 61. I started young. Anyway, guys, thanks for stopping in. I felt kind of bad. I didn't get a video out today, so I thought I would do this. I've been threatening to do it, and then I got this new setup, this new it's a live program. It's for going live. I don't know what all it does. There's all kinds of things I don't know how to do. But anyway, guys, thanks for stopping in. I'm going to try to have another video out tomorrow. Let's see, is it focusing? And we'll go from there. So, thank you. Onward and upward. That's the watchword.